So, Arinder, thanks a lot for coming in and accepting our invite to be our first guest for Dude, Where's My ROI?
Thanks a lot for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to be at your sessions.
Awesome. So, one of the first things which I would like to understand is from your journey, the whole idea is key. When you have started working, right, you actually were working with a publisher named Jayco, and you
That's
have
right.
transition from offline to online.
Yes,
So, can you give us some insights on that? What was that journey like, and what is the ROI you helped them achieve at that point?
surely. Uh, so when I started off my journey, and that's like in 2014, the first job as a digital marketing executive, and frankly, I knew practically nothing about digital marketing back in the day. I knew
Okay.
the theoretical concepts, but
Right.
practically, I was like, okay, I have no clue about it. But then, when I joined Jayco, and they were gracious enough to let me experiment with a lot of things, and given a chance to work with a lot of authors, we realized that it was really important for every author out there to create a brand for themselves. And I think so that was one thing that helped them increase their sale of their books.
Right.
So like one
Right.
of the authors that I worked extensively with was Radhakrishna Pillai.
Okay. Awesome. I actually,
Yes.
I actually had the privilege to, conduct a fireside chat with him
Yes.
before COVID times, and he's really someone who has a lot of insight and gives you a lot of ज्ञान. Like उनके पास ही आप बैठोगे आपको ज्ञान मिलने वाला है.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So, in terms of what was your marketing approach at that point?
Okay, so the biggest thing was to make authors as well as my boss understand that, okay, there's a need for digital transition.
Mhm.
And so first thing we did was that, okay, we realized that back in the day, we did not have multitude of options on Facebook. We did not have Facebook ads manager. We did not have remarketing campaigns back in the day. It
Right.
was just promoting the page and uh, creating a content that appeals the audience. And at that moment of time, organic reach was amazing.
Obviously, yeah.
Yes. So the first step we did was we ensured that, okay, you know what, let us first focus on the content part of it and
Okay.
increasing our fan follower base.
Awesome.
So while we were doing that, we reached, I would say more than 1 lakh followers back in the day.
Wow.
And what we also did was we transitioned our complete sales from offline to online.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
rather than being heavily dependent on retailers, we said, okay, we require retailers, no doubt about that. But then the world is going digital, and we need to be present on Amazon and all the sites wherein we can sell online books.
Awesome. So
So
you
that I think so kind of really helped. And by the time I was over there, we had achieved like what, a 40% of our revenue was coming just because of digital initiatives.
Wow. And at that time, I would say that is remarkable, right? Because
Yes,
many players were doing that at that moment.
yes,
What year
yes.
was this?
Can you repeat that for me?
What year was this?
This was 2014-15,
Okay, so Aram say like 6 years back, almost we are.
6 years back.
So that was
Yes.
the nascent time when digital marketing was on the rise.
Yes, I would say a lot of people actually didn't knew back in the day what digital marketing actually was.
Okay.
And it's just that in 2017-18 is that the buzzword just started picking up thanks to Prime Minister and Digital India and all of that. But back in the day, a lot of people were just experimenting with it. So I would say yes, it was the initial days of digital world.
Awesome. So come jumping to the present moment. Now you are, actually you have gone way ahead. Now you understand these things more deep and wide. Like last time when you were at Psyche, you were actually talking about a whole big marketing budget that you had under you, which you were controlling, and
Right.
you were the head of training at Clevertap. So, how exactly is the transition been, and what are you doing right now? Like, what is Arinder's current day job look like?
Okay. So I transitioned from being a digital marketing executive to being a trainer and instructor. Earlier, I used to just train on digital marketing, but since I joined CleverTap, I realized that the world is not just limited to branding and remarketing. It is much more than that. It is about a personalized communication with the end user in the
Right.
form of notifications. It is about understanding the behavior of your user in the application, and depending on that, creating campaigns, and predictive analytics.
Perfect. So in this way, like right now, if you think of it, marketing is, married to technology. Like they both go hand in hand.
Yes.
And CleverTap being a platform which is at the leading edge of MarTech, I would believe. So
Yes, it is.
how do you see someone like a CleverTap or someone who has a product, digital product, marketing versus someone who has a physical product? Because Jaico was physical and this is
Right, right,
a digital product, and we are going to see more of these things happening over this.
right. So when I talk about CleverTap as an organization and the product that we are, so we are a SaaS-based product.
Okay.
If you look at all our digital initiatives, we would normally focus on two major aspects. One is on the content part of it. So the
Okay.
amount of value that you deliver when it comes to a B2B environment is going to build a brand reputation. At the same time, it will have a brand recall. So
Right.
people will normally download your resources, your case studies, anything that you can help users with.
Correct.
That also helps as a lead generation activity for us.
Definitely.
So
Understood.
if you look at all the posts that we have, all the campaigns that we run are majorly going to be focused on how can we add value to you. And it's not just going to be limited to what CleverTap does, but also industry benchmark reports, case studies, guides across varied industries, I would say. So be it telecom, be it food delivery apps, be it ride hailing apps.
Okay.
So that is when it comes to CleverTap. But when I talk about Jeco or any company that's into a B2C environment,
Okay.
there's going to be a mix, I would say. Yes, you do deliver value over there, but then your goal is focused majorly on awareness and conversion, or awareness and lead generation.
Okay. Understood. So just to simplify it,
Yes.
when in a B2B environment, our approach is more of people coming to us because
Right.
of the value that we give. And
Right.
B2C environment, we do that, but we also have the intention of kind of putting our product out there so that
Right.
it's up for grabs and it's easier for them to reach out to.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome. In terms of marketing, now let's think of it like over the span of your career. Have you had any eureka moment which you would like to share with us, wherein you were like, "Ki, wow, this has been, dimag ki batti jal gayi," basically?
Yes. This was, I think, so with the IID, in Institute of Digital Education, wherein we were trying out multitude of things. Like IID had multiple batches going on at the same time across Mumbai, and we
Correct.
said, okay, you know what? If we want to do something different, something extraordinary, what is the thing? And that moment of time, we realized that, okay, you know what? One aspect that a lot of institutes, I would say, in Mumbai or in India are not really trying out for is remarketing.
Okay.
A lot of people think it's a buzzword, but then in reality, it is the best way to get an optimized ROI. Because I know that people will get irritated with you saying that, yes, wherever we are going, you're bombarding your ads and you're showing it to us, and you're you're scaring the hell out of us because you're following us everywhere. But at the same time, it helped us in brand recall, it helped us in conversions and multitude of things.
Right.
The amount of money we were spending was, I would say, very cost effective.
Awesome. Awesome. So I would just like to share one thing about remarketing right now. So
Yes.
uh, I don't know if you know, like most of the people today would seem to know. There's this guy. He's a marketer. His name is Vaibhav Sisinti.
Yes, I'm aware about him.
Have you seen his remarketing ads?
Yes, I have.
Oh shit, man! It's really communicate. Like right now, what he's done over the last 2 days on my Facebook, I'm getting ads from an account which says, "I don't know who this guy is, Vaibhav Sisinti," and it's like you guys are irritated with my remarketing ads, and that's his remarketing campaign.
True, true, true. But personally, hats off to that guy, because one thing I've realized about him is a lot of my friends actually ended up doing his course also,
Right,
and they came to me and they told me that, just in the times of COVID is when his the whole concept of him being a LinkedIn practitioner and an expert kind of just
right,
changed his perception completely.
right.
And a lot of people have done his course. So definitely, I think so. His remarketing campaign has been the most effective one.
Awesome. And in terms of, let's say, overall, when we talk about marketing, because you are obviously, you cannot be in this career if you do not love marketing.
True, true, true.
So which is one campaign which overall, when if I was to ask you, what's the best marketing campaign you have ever seen? What is that one example you can give me?
Okay. So the one, I don't know if you're aware about it, Heinz ketchup campaign.
Okay.
So this campaign was actually done by Foxy Moron,
Okay.
and it was specifically focused on YouTube only.
Acha.
The whole idea on YouTube is all of us as individuals, we have this habit that, whenever we are watching any video and suddenly there's an ad that pops up, we just wait to skip it. That's the only approach that all of us has, right?
Right.
So waiting for the timeline of 5 seconds to move on, and then we can click on skip. What they did was they took this whole concept of people skipping it and tried reverse psychology, wherein
Okay.
in the campaign itself, there are people, you would see on the ad itself, and they would tell you, skip the ad right now. Why are you watching it?
Oh, okay.
And that provoked you to watch the whole video.
Right. I understand.
So that's reverse psychology. Yes. So I think so that is one campaign that I admire the most.
Okay, that certainly makes sense. In terms of, and especially because it's from an Indian agency, so I think that example really, drives that point.
Yes.
And to, because I want to take in some questions from even our participants. So
Sure.
I bring our conversation to a close. I have just two last questions. One,
Okay.
what has been? It's a very boring question considering the day and age, which is lockdown में आपने क्या सीखा? How is new normal treating you basically?
So in lockdown, of course, for me, the biggest transition was from I am an offline trainer. I'm an instructor-led trainer. I love being in the crowd and talking to people and so on and so forth. But suddenly moving the whole transition to being in a webinar, yes, it was a tough one in the beginning, but then got used to it. And I'm frankly now enjoying that part of it. And second, this lockdown has helped me upskill in a lot of skills.
Okay.
So for example, earlier I was like, okay, you know what, I know digital marketing, great, I'm happy with that. But then this lockdown forced me to say that, okay, you know what else should I do to improvise myself? So I said, okay, you know what, I'm not just a digital marketing trainer and I don't want to be pursued at that, because I said, there are a lot of things which are interdeparted, interlinked is what I would say. And in that case scenario, what I did was not just teaching digital marketing. I started learning and then training on data analytics. I moved into sales. I moved into partnership enablement.
Okay.
A little bit of L&D as well. So yes, I kind of diversified my whole portfolio. And I said that, okay, what are the skills that I've learned in the digital world and how can it be efficient enough to apply in all of these areas? So this actually kind of helped me a lot.
Awesome. And my last question for today would be, in one word, what does marketing mean to you?
Marketing would be customer retention.
Customer retention. Awesome.
Yes.
We want to actually now get to one point, which is, take down some questions from the audience. Okay.
Yes.
So let's do that. 1 second. Guys, if you guys have any questions, then please make sure, take opportunity and, share your questions. There is one question by Mini, which says, which social media channel have you found the most value-driven?
Okay, which one have I found the most valuable? Now, frankly, it depends on industry to industry.
Okay.
Like if you're a B2C industry and you're looking at brand awareness or something on those lines, then yes, Instagram. And if you want to connect with, I would say, an age group of, let's say, 18 to 23 or 30, then Instagram has been the most efficient platform. Right. But let's say if you're a B2B kind of a company, something like what CleverTap is, then in that case scenario, LinkedIn is one platform that I would suggest to any B2B company out there.
Okay, sure. LinkedIn, I think, is working wonders right now in terms of organic reach, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I think LinkedIn is one very important thing. One other question is, how difficult it has been to drive ROI post-COVID? This has been asked.
Yeah. Yes. No, it has been difficult, to be frank enough. Because what you realize is there are a lot of businesses who are struggling to survive in these times. At the same time, there are a lot of businesses which have gone bankrupt. But at the same time, there are industries and businesses which have picked up like anything. Like, just to give you an example, OTT platforms, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hotstar have grown their user base humongously, I would say. So
Right.
yes, in those cases, we have been able to achieve our ROI. We have been able to deliver the kind of result that we are looking at. But yes, there has been a big fight when it comes to other industries, is what I would say. And the only workaround you can do is, if you have a good reputation or relationship with the client out there, and then that's the only thing you can do is you can have, you can give some leeway or something like a buffer to them
Okay.
and look at a long-term reward, is what I would say.
Perfect. And in terms of like post-COVID, or we are still not post-COVID, right? We are
Yes.
still during the COVID era. What have been have you seen major pivots in the industry? In terms of, obviously there are, but in the digital space, when you are dealing with digital products, like you were right in terms of Netflix and even these communication apps, right? Like
Right.
Zoom has actually seen tremendous growth, Slack,
True.
Microsoft Teams. Uh, but what is the pivot which you are seeing out here? Are people okay to pay for these things, or what is the kind of scenario you're getting?
So personally, I think I'm going to say about two things. One is about people, and second is about businesses. So businesses definitely yes, because what they saw is that okay, if you're working from home right now, we are able to save, I would say, a lot of cost that is involved when it comes to renting out a place, electricity, multitude of things.
Sure.
So even if they have to pay, let's say, 1,700 or 1,800 rupees for a Zoom subscription, they're completely fine with it
Right.
because they're able to save on the cost that is otherwise. And similarly, when it comes to the people, yes, in a way, it has hampered their personal lives as well because I think so that you can agree with me on this. Earlier, we used to say that okay, it's a Monday to Fridays working. Saturday, Sunday is our family time. We enjoy with them. That's completely it.
Right.
Now, even at 11 in the night, you would have a Zoom call lined up, or even on a Saturday, you would get a Slack and you start replying to that. And it has kind of become a nature with us. So are people used to it? Yes, earlier there was a big fight, but now I think so people are getting used to all of these platforms.
I think you're right. One thing which I have noticed in the trend, like as a trend, is the demarcation of when there was work from home. Like earlier, work from home very sophisticatedly was a reason to take a holiday.
Right.
Now work from home has actually become work from home. One
True.
is
And not just that, yeah, I was talking to a lot of my colleagues from different industries, and they say that, what, we realize that we have ended up working more hours now than
definitely
what we used to do in the office.
that is for sure. Like the amount of time people, and I think there are two reasons. One is obviously because you are accountable now because there's a distance, there's a gap. So and you are not traveling, you're not doing all those other things. So people are like, "Ki ghar pe baitha hai," and you are concentrating on this. But obviously there are a lot of distractions at home,
True.
and to fight that or to combat that and still be able to do things is something remarkable, which we all are still learning, I would say.
No doubt on that. And personally, what I also believe is that I think so. This COVID situation, I don't think that it's gonna ease up till the end of this year at least.
Okay.
And next year, when people are supposed to go back to office, that is when the real struggle is gonna be there.
Surely, I can imagine that. I can imagine a set of memes hitting us. Ki back to work.
Yes, that
now,
is gonna happen here.
now are you missing work from home? Because everyone is now saying they're tired of work from home.
Right.
Uh,
True. Yeah.
One last question which I want to take up is, uh, what do you suggest marketers to do to get better at predictive analytics? Okay, like is there a way to simplify analytics in some way or the other?
All right. So there are multitude of tools that are available that you can pick and choose for predictive analytics, and one of them I could say is, let's say, you can use Firebase. That's by Google. That is completely available for all the users to understand what is the user behavior in your application. At the same time, you can predict that okay, this is the amount of result that I have achieved right now with this amount of investment, and what is the amount of investment I'll have to make considering external factors, and what is the ROI that I can expect.
Right,
So
understood. In just I would just end this whole thing, whole apna conversation by asking you. are there any marketers you follow and you would recommend? Like, who can we follow? Who can we learn from? Or during this COVID time, any accounts which you have seen which have been really educational as well as enjoyment के लिए भी क्या कर सकते हैं? Anything.
Right. So in regards to marketers, I said when it comes to, let's say, SEO, I follow this one guy, that's Neil Patel. I'm sure all of us do that. So I kind of admire the kind of content that is there, but otherwise there are content aggregators that I personally follow, which helps me keep updated about recent changes. Let's say one is Social Media Examiner.
Sure.
That's one site that really helps me. That is really good. Third, I would use at, let's say, Facebook Blueprint, for example, with the new UI and the changes that are coming in, or let's say Google Insights. So these are the few sources that I would normally follow, or I would read upon on a regular basis.
Okay. Can you repeat the second one? Actually, there was some lag in the stream, so we couldn't.
Okay. So I was talking about Social Media Examiner, and then I was talking about SEMrush.
Okay, SEMrush. Yeah, that's a crazy resource. Yeah, and last, what series have you been binging on?
Frankly, a lot.
Okay, so give me top three.
The top three, Money Heist. I loved the first season. Then I got bored with the second one, to be frank. Yes. Second, I would say, in that case scenario, Sherlock is an all-time favorite, no doubt about that.
Okay.
And the third one that I could recommend you would be anything on the recent side would be, let's say, Lucifer or Vampire Diaries, as I would say, one of them.
Awesome. So, Arindra, that's crazy. Thanks a lot. Thanks, and thank you for a scenery change. Because I was expecting in my mind कि मैं एक कमरे में बंद हूँ, Arindra भी एक कमरे में बंद होगा, and it will be that kind of a conversation. But you actually brought freshness just by the scenario where you are sitting in right now. So thanks a lot, and thanks a lot for this interesting conversation. Hope to see you soon physically. Hope to actually attend one of your training sessions, and let's catch up, man. Stay positive.
Good. Looking forward to that, and thanks for inviting me over here. Thank you.
Awesome. And you need to answer my question, dude. Where's my ROI?
Surely, I think so. Frankly, your business have grown like enormously. Like Psyche, for the first time when I had seen, we were doing the first session, and now the amount of people that you have reached out to.
We are still scaling. We actually need to go way further. Right now, we are nowhere where we actually were planning to be. But I think with people like you on board, we are definitely going to reach there soon.
Surely. And I saw the lineup of speakers that you have had, and I'm sure the new speakers that are going to be lined up also for such session. And personally, for all the people who are attending this right now, would request, please do attend all the sessions by Psyche.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Means a lot to us. Okay. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.